Hello and welcome to BHGS's autumn demonstration video. Sadly this year we can't have you all in the shop because of COVID restrictions, so we're bringing it to your home instead. Today I'm going to be doing a couple of demonstrations, one as a table hoop, as you can see before you, and also a simple pumpkin arrangement which you can do with your children. So firstly, this is a standard table hoop, and we sell them at BHGS and they're only £7.55, so it's quite a reasonable way to begin. Okay, so I will be using dried and synthetically dried flowers for these. Now synthetically dried flowers are, they're not actually dried flowers, but they are artificial flowers that are made to look and feel exactly the same as dried. The only disadvantage is that they don't have the dried smell, but the main advantage is that they're not brittle like dried flowers. And I'm also going to be using some dried flowers as well. Okay, so I've started by simply putting a small piece of dry oasis onto the table hoop. I've secured it in place with some pot tape and a couple of staining wires. Okay, so firstly I'm going to just start to get my basic shape. And I'm going to be using some pampas grass for that. So I'm just placing the pampas into the oasis at the base of the hoop. And this will just get my basic shape of where I want the arrangement to go. I'm going to do it slightly off centre, so it's going to be more at this side and less here. Then I'm going to start using some grass. These are actually dried flowers which are available at BHGS, and they're £4.90 a bundle, so it's quite a reasonable start on your dried flower journey. I'm just going to put lots of these in just to form the basic shape. I'm obviously arranging the flowers in front of me, but I will turn it around to show the camera in just a few moments. The great thing about these is that they'll last for ages. You don't have to change them. If you want to change take the odd thing out and change it seasonally, then that's great. Obviously we can do this with fresh flowers, but obviously have a limited lifespan. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to some of the synthetically dried flowers. And these are those here. We've got some nice seed pods, some feathers and some grasses as well, and also some small delicate flowers. Now, as I said, these have the same qualities as dried flowers, but they're less brittle, they're easier to use, and they last. Dried flowers are great. They're having a real resurgence at the moment. When I started my floristry journey a long time ago, dried flowers were very old hat and old-fashioned, and a young florist wouldn't be seen dead using them. But now it's really come back. They're a gorgeous thing to work with. So I'm just placing a few around. Again, I'm just starting my basic shapes here. I'm going to use some more pampas grass. We sell pampas grass in BHGS. It's £2.50 a stem for a large stem similar to this one, or it's £2 for a smaller stem. And with pampas grass you can take them all to pieces, so you can use lots of different sizes in your arrangements. They're a great filler as well. Just have to pull them apart a little bit. Need a little bit of work. I'll use some more of these. Just turn that round, just so you can see where I'm going. Obviously the back is separate. This is a front-facing arrangement, so we'll have some different textures at the back. Just going to have some coming out the front as well, so it's got a nice profile. We will hopefully be starting to have some of our Easter and spring demonstrations back, and also our workshops. So hopefully when all this madness is over and things are a little easier for everyone, we can have you all back in our workshops throughout the year. We do have, we are still running our wreath making workshops, and though we do have some availability left on some of the dates, and we'll post details of that below this video. Okay, so all I'm doing is just starting to build a basic shape with that. Again, I absolutely love pamper scraps. This is a thing that's really, again, just like dried flowers, it's making a real comeback. It's so easy to use, it's lovely. We made a pampas ring, which you can see at the front, and that's made by simply taping pieces of pampas similar to this with some stem text to the ring. Cut that slightly. And it's just starting to make a nice shape. I'm just going to add some wheat and some Floralis, which again has a lovely quality about it. Add a few seed heads at the base. They add some depth and they're a really interesting texture. So again, I'll just turn it around to see. As you can see, I'll try and arrange it perhaps from the front so it's easier for you to see on the video. Just adding a poppy seed pod, a small one. Back, I'm just going to start filling in slightly with some pampas. And I do love using wheat in quite a lot of things. I think wheat really goes well with red poppies as well as eucalyptus. We have about 5 or 6 different varieties of eucalyptus at BHGS at the moment. And my favourite is probably seeded eucalyptus, because I love how the texture works on that. It's all floppy and I love it. So we're just, again, building from the shape, popping it in. Just work from the front now. And as soon as I fill the back in, we can then concentrate on the front and finish the design off. Again, I love all the grasses that you get with these dried flower bouquets. They're quite hard and they're very easy to place into the oasis. So just turn that round now just to continue with the front. It really is great fun doing something like this. Got the best job in the world. Well, probably an astronaut's the best job in the world, but apart from an astronaut, I think a florist is the best job in the world. because you get to make people smile. It's working creatively. It's nice to learn different skills, and our florist is always learning. Once you qualify, you don't just stop, you regularly learn new skills. For example, dried flowers, because they weren't fashionable back when I started, it's not something that I've worked with, you know, from the beginning of my floristry journey. So now it's really good that I'm learning new ways of working with them, which is great. Everything comes round, everything goes full circle, like fashion. I'm going to hang on to those flares a bit longer and see if they come back. And the hooded tops from the 90s. Ooh, they were awful. Okay, I'm just going to add some of these feathered pieces. They are part of the synthetic range of dried flowers. Add those into the arrangement. Give a lovely texture. This is so simple that you really, you know, anybody can do this. It's just a bit of trial and error, a bit of practice. Once you find your style as well. Most florists have a style. The key is that you must learn to do all styles. That's lovely, coming on really nicely. Put a few small seeded poppies right in the base. And I cut it properly. So this is where we are so far. And we're almost done. We're just going to start filling in some of the gaps now. And this can be done with any filler. Again, Pampas is a really good one at the moment. It's readily available. There are some people that still have it in their garden, so you can always ask very nicely, or you can come into BHGS and we have it readily available. And I think Pampas, more people are going to be planting Pampas now because again, it's really had a comeback. Okay. So I'm just going to fill a few ones in at the back, just to cover. And then that's just about it. I'm going to add some feathers to it actually, just because I just decided I fancy a few pheasant feathers in it. Because you can't get enough pheasant feathers. Well, I can't anyway, I do like them. They always give an interesting tone to any arrangement. Okay. So obviously you just need to cover the back slightly because it's going to be a front-facing arrangement. I don't have to worry too much about the back. However, if you wanted this for a wedding, and because they're great for weddings, you would need to obviously focus on both sides. So I've just popped some feathers in. I may change my mind, it's not unlike me to do so. I think they add a little something to it. more, I think. Just there. Okay, so there's arrangement number 1. A mixture of dried and synthetic flowers and pheasant feathers. Hi, welcome back to part 2 of our BHGS autumn demonstration video. In part 1 we made a table hoop, which you can see, using dried and synthetically dried flowers and some lovely pampas and pheasant feathers. For this part of the demonstration I'm going to be using a real pumpkin, and this is a great thing to do with the children. You can have a real laugh with doing it with them, or if you want to be a bit more creative and not just have a normal scary pumpkin outside your door, this is a great alternative. So I've started off by just hollowing out a pumpkin as you would normally do, and I've popped in lots of dry oasis. So this is a whole brick of dry oasis which I've just sort of jammed in, cut up a bit and jammed in, so you can see it there. We're going to do a little bit of a different pumpkin arrangement than the one that you can see at the front there. This is just an alternate way that you can do it. So first of all, I'm going to be using some beautiful variegated ivy. That's all artificial. This is from BHGS. It's £2.60 a stem. I'm going to be using these beautiful oak leaf bunches, and these are £3.50 a bunch, so they're really reasonable. A mixed autumn bouquet and some sunflowers. And these are all readily available at BHGS, and we currently have them in stock, so hurry before it goes. Okay, so I'm going to start off by just snipping some of the ivy into different lengths. The beauty with this is just one piece can make various different lengths, so you can have lots of trailing ivy from just one stem. And again, with artificial ivy, it's all wide, so you can bend it to whatever shape you like. I'm just going to start by putting one down at the front there. And we'll have one coming out here. Bend over. Another one this side. Again, one at the front. We can always bend them over a bit later if they need to. You'll notice I'm not going very high with this arrangement, and there's a good reason why, which will become apparent later. And then probably this one I'm going to cut into 2 again. And just have at the back here. So again, like I said with the previous arrangement, we've just started with a very simple shape to your arrangement. Okay, and as a rule with general floristry, you normally always start with the foliage. Particularly for commercial florists, the more foliage you use, the less flowers you use. Flowers can tend to be more expensive, so it's more commercially viable. But it's just the old rule of thumb that your foliage goes in first. These bunches are great because they come in all different sizes, so it's almost like you've just picked them off the tree. Just need to check that. Yeah, we'll have one at the back. Little one here of a different colour, but it's obviously blends all in together. Let's have a look at you. Right. might put some more of those in a moment, but we'll start with a sunflower. Ooh, I like that one. Let's put that one in the middle. Sometimes you have to give them a little tug. There we are, so I'm going to do a nice central one there, and then we'll build around it with some of these lovely autumn flowers. You can also, it's a really good idea to mix some fresh foliage and some artificial poppies and flowers. That always looks really good as well, or vice versa. You can have some artificial foliage, particularly if you can't get hold of some of the really nice foliage like eucalyptus, and then you can use some real flowers as well. Adds a different depth to it. Just turning it around to face me slightly so I can kind of see what I'm doing. It's very hard to arrange away from you. Okay. Use that one, I think. Let's see what we have. Okay. These are beautiful little Chinese lanterns. Gorgeous colour. That's a bit more. Put some of these in there, I think. That's how we are so far. And we're just going to keep now filling in just around. Okay, so let me have a look at that. We need something just a little bit below. So we'll just pop that there. Just up there. Lovely. Right, now, the reason why I'm not doing too much at the back or too much here at the front is because we're going to attach the lid to the back, similarly like that. So what I need to do is get two rather thick pieces of wire. Now this is, I think this is 1.2 gauge, so it's quite a thick one. And I'm going to stab it, sorry Mr. Pumpkin, into the back. This is similar to what I've done on the other one. And I think I'm going to need another one actually, because that's quite heavy. And we're just going to pop those in to the back of the oasis. And so hopefully that will be strong. We may need another wire. I don't think we do though. So you have the lid as part of the arrangement, which you can see there. And the final touch, these tiny little gourds, which are so cute. Look at these. We're just going to pop these into the arrangement at the front. So you've got some lovely quirky shapes going in. We'll pop you there. There we are. So there's a really simple, really quick autumn arrangement in a pumpkin. That's just a bit of fun. So stay tuned, because in the next month we'll be publishing our Christmas demonstration video. Sadly again, similarly to the first reason, we can't do it in the shop this time, so we'll be bringing it to you via video. So please look out, follow us on our Instagram page, BHGS Floral Art, follow us on Facebook, BHGS Floral Art, and we'll always keep you updated with what's going on. Okay, thank you very much. It's great to see you. Bye.